Hello, this is Aravali. It helps make predictions better and alerts more relevant. Before we go into the technical things, first let's find out what is Aravali. Of course, it's a magnificent place in the lap of nature, which is also known as the Aravali Hills. But it is also the name of our system, which stands for Aggregated Arrival of Latent Information. It aggregates information from not just fixed sources but also from real-time updates, and we'll soon see how it works. But before that, let's see why we chose the name Aravali. The Aravali ranges are composed of lot of hills, similar to the way that we are using the data aggregation technique, which consists of small parts such as the NY Times, the news API from Hindus and other things, and IMD data. So this was an apt name that we chose for our system. Okay, so we mentioned about better predictions. So how are we able to achieve that? The secret lies in the data aggregation part. The data aggregation in this case consists of publicly available APIs that you can access using authentication tokens. We use APIs from New York Times that we mentioned in that slide. We use API from News API. It collects information from a number of newspapers such as the Hindu. And in NY Times gives you data from up to 1851. So any occurrences, any casualties from cyclones and hurricanes you can get from here. We also combine data from our own sources such as IMD. Here you can find data starting from 1890s to 2016 about different category of storms in the Arabian Sea, in the Bay of Bengal, and this data is available in form of different data sets such as CSV and Excel files. We also collect data from Unisys, which has been doing a tremendous job of acquiring data and building trajectories of these cyclones across the world. And we have data from 1972 till even the latest cyclones such as Titli. It gives data in various forms such as the wind speed, the latitude and longitude, and so on. This fixed data help us to form the base of our data aggregation framework. So, how does that make our predictions better? The idea here is, if we can use data from historical collections from these various places such as IMD, Unisys, and we can fuse the data from news APIs that give us actual information on the kind of devastation that had occurred. This can help the poor predictions from false positives to be reduced greatly, and we can find out the latent patterns in this occurrences, in these events, in these natural disasters that our model can learn, and hence it can help the predictions make better. Now, based upon the predictions from our data aggregated framework and the model that was learnt on it, we can curate an SMS such as this, which consists of actual real-time information and predicted information. It has information on the wind speed, the current status, if there are any casualties or not, hence making it a more relevant thing to consider even for a layman. And using techniques such as the frequency waves, the SMS, instead of using internet where you have to have an internet connection, this makes it more usable even at places where you can function only through an emergency line, even if you do not have a network at all in your mobile phone. So this not only helps us reach a larger audience, but it also helps us make the updates more relevant and more frequent, and in a way it also helps get some feedback that could be used again in a real-time sense. Again, to help with that, we are using the DA2SMS API, where we can send SMS to numbers in a database, and we can also formulate the text according to our own requirements. So, how Azure plays a relevant role here? How have we used its services? So let's just quickly check it out. We log into our Azure portal and let's see what all services we have used. The first thing that we have used here is the Azure functions. Now, Azure functions are a way to create serverless architecture. It is one of the microservices offered by Azure. In this case, my SMS app that is running, this is built on the API that we had showed you earlier, the REST endpoint link, and we use our token, the message that we want to give, and we also the phone number that we want to send the message to. And it's quite simple. We can run it anytime we want. So it's also saving us cost on a server. This is a great thing. Secondly, the backend that we have written, it is using Python, and still it is able to interact with this API, this Azure Functions app seamlessly. The same thing you will find with the News API, which we also have implemented using this Functions app. We have also done the same thing with the NY Times API. So this helps us make the next thing that we have used in Azure is its VM service. While in this case I want to focus on the Azure Container Registry, what you can do with it is you can create a Docker image of your model, the one that I have created here. You can create a Docker image around it and you can push to this container registry. What benefit you get is that you can pull it into any machine, whether it is CentOS or Red Hat or running Ubuntu, and you will still be able to run this model by using your credentials, and that also again makes it cross compatible. Lastly, Azure also provides an easy way to push your GitHub code into a web app. Currently this is stopped because we are trying to use this Azure as a backend only for the time being. However, we also have developed a front-end web app that will allow you to give more data as you collect it and retrain your model. This supplementary material gives more insight to the last thing we talked about using container registry. Really, the best thing is you can log out from this portal and you can log back in, and you will still see that your function app is still running, which means that you can just use the URL and you can keep on sending SMS. You can keep running your Docker image, your standard application, and this won't stop, which is not the case if you would have done it in your own server, local server, or your own local machine. If it stops, everything stops. But this serverless architecture makes it possible.